Thought I'd spend a few minutes talking about my adventure vehicle, the Wolfeneer, and also comment on some of the upcoming adventures I have planned. So many of you have seen it in a lot of my videos here. It's the vehicle I camp in. It's a 2002 Mercury Mountaineer. I've nicknamed the Wolfeneer because of the wolf graphics on it. I've done a lot of work on it over the last several years. I've taken a lot of camping trips in it. And I've got it set up this way I can remove these seats. I mean, yes, I set it up. It's convertible, so I can convert it between passenger and sleeping mode. Right now it's in passenger mode, so I'm actually sitting in the back seat at the moment to do this video here. So I got it set up there, so I take the back seats out. And I can lay out a platform for the mattress, and I can put the mattress in here. It's a 30-inch wide mattress. Fits back goes from the seat up here all the way to the back of the truck. And I've got all storage space along here. Nice little camping setup. So on the roof of the Wolfeneer, we've got that water tank that I built last year. It's made out of 4-inch PVC pipe, painted black, has a water spigot on it. Holds about 9 gallons of water. That was one of the best additions I did on the truck. And inside there's the 100-watt solar panel that keeps the battery charged. There's an extra battery down behind me. Has 100 amp hour storage capacity. And that keeps all my electronics running, charges my laptop, runs the lighting, things like that. I got a solar charge controller. I'm going to put a bit of effort in setting things up. In the back I've got a pull-out drawer that can also hold my stove, which was an interesting idea but never really worked the way I wanted to, because it turns out I didn't really care for standing behind at the back of my truck cooking. So it's mainly just used for storage, so it wasn't one of the most useful features, but it was interesting. Had potential anyway, and I may still use it this year, we'll see. And a few things like that. I've done a lot of modifications. So unfortunately my truck is starting to show its age. As I said, it's a 2002 Mercury Mountaineer, and it's now 2021, which means this truck is 19 years old. And I love the truck. I mean, I'd love to keep using it, but it is really starting to show its age now. So on the trip to Maine, I was up around Moosehead Lake. The service engine soon light came on. I didn't think too much of it, and that has happened before when I'm up wintertime trips, higher altitudes, up around over 1,000 feet elevation. I've had the service engine light come on while I'm up there. Hasn't been a huge issue. It usually goes off by the time I get back home, but this time it didn't. So it worked fine while I was driving around this, so I didn't worry about it too much, but I did drop it off at the shop, and they took a look at it, and they couldn't really figure out what was wrong with it. They said they had a list of multiple things that would be causing the problem, and they weren't really sure which one it was. So they reset the code, and it was basically saying the fuel's been running too rich. So not quite enough oxygen getting into it. So basically, they reset it. The light hasn't come back on since they've reset it, but I suspect the problem is still there, and I'll be seeing it again. That and multiple other issues, mainly rust issues. There's a lot of rust on this truck. Unfortunately, again, it's 19 years old. It lives in New England. I use it all winter. It gets hit with a lot of road salt, stuff like that. So rust is to be expected. And as you can see in these clips here, I can tap on it and parts of the truck just flake off. There's other areas where there's rust showing up in the doorways, things like that. So, and it's got other mechanical problems. I'm getting weird noises off the engine, that sort of stuff. So it's definitely showing its age. And a lot of the mechanical problems I can deal with, but I am starting to get worried that I'm going to go down one of these dirt roads for a camping trip one of these days, and the truck's going to fail on me. I'm going to be outside of cell phone range. I'm going to have problems. So it's starting to be a concern now. So I'm thinking it's time for a new adventure vehicle. So this is going to be the last season for the Wolfeneer, I think. It's not done yet. It's still going to be going on a few more trips. While I'm searching out a new vehicle. Once I get a new vehicle, then it's going to start taking the place of my other vehicle. I have an even older 98 Ford Escort wagon. That's my work vehicle. I use that for going to jobs. I mean, I'm a self-employed computer tech. I run my own business. I go into people's homes, fix their computer issues, things like that. I also go to some small businesses. That's how I raise my funds to do these trips. So that Escort is my work vehicle. That's what it's got. My stuff I need for doing jobs set up in it and everything else. And being the fact that it's 23 years old, it's showing even more problems than this truck is. Even though the mileage is pretty low, it's having some issues, some serious issues too. The rust has really caused some problems with the frame, things like that. So it's basically at the point where it's on what I'm calling vehicle hospice care now. Another major problem comes up, it's pretty much done, going to be coming off the road. In fact, its inspection stick is due in June, and I have a feeling it's not going to pass inspection. So, unfortunately, my Escort's probably going to be coming off the road pretty soon. So my plan is the Mercury Mountaineer, the Wolfeneer, is going to take over its job. Some of the modifications I've done in this truck is going to be actually useful for work, like the extra battery pack, power inverter. I mean, I've got a 300 watt power inverter in here. I can set up that back with the draw pull out area almost as a mobile workspace. I can set it up there, a little workbench there. I can bring people's computers out to the truck, work on in the back. I've got the battery system, I can power it up. I'll put a monitor in here, things like that. And the truck will actually have a second life there as my work vehicle, where it's not going to be roaming too far from home anymore. So I'm going to be working on picking up a new adventure vehicle. So that brings up the question of what it's going to be. That I'm not sure of yet. Could be another SUV like the Wolfeneer. Could be another Mercury Mountaineer. Who knows? So I really like some of the setups of some of the van life people I follow. These are the people who live full-time in their vans. I'm a part-time van lifer, if anything, but I like some of their setups, like Foresty Forest, Venture Van Man, Van City Van Life. They got some pretty cool setups, so I wouldn't mind a van. I've looked at some full-size vans. I've looked at minivans. I've looked at SUVs. I'm not sure which direction I'm going to go in yet, but the biggest problem I'm running into is budget. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of money. As I said, I'm self-employed. I go into people's homes, and that hasn't worked as well during COVID time, so my money's a little tight. So my total budget right now, as of right now, for buying a new vehicle is about $3,000, which isn't going to buy me much of a van. But I'm looking, I've found a few leads that I've been following up on. But I'm also working on doing some cleaning around the house and selling stuff. I'm going to try to raise funds that way. I have too much stuff in the house. There's no doubt about that. The house is a disaster. I got too much clutter, things like that. So, it's one of the things I got to work on. I got to clean up some of the house. And I got to sell a lot of the stuff. And I can use that to raise funds to put directly in towards my vehicle purchase. So, exactly what do I want to get? Well, at my budget, I'm not going to be too picky. If I find a reliable vehicle that will do the job at the price I want, I might go for it. But the question comes up to, what do I really want? I mean, one of the things I was seriously considering is a minivan, and I think I've decided I don't really want a minivan. I want to be hitting a lot of dirt roads, rough terrain, things like that. I also want to be able to do some wintertime camping with it, that sort of stuff. So I want room to be able to install a heater, insulate it, that sort of stuff. And I don't think a minivan is going to really do that for me. So full-size van would be nice. You can have a lot more room inside of it. I could set up a lot of stuff. Heck, I could practically live in the thing. Like a lot of other people do. I also have the SUV option. I could get another vehicle like this. Whatever I end up getting, though, it's going to be dedicated just for these camping trips now. So it's going to be 100% dedicated for that. Instead of having to convert it like I do with the Mercury Mountaineer, the Wolfeneer here, I have to take the seats out and put the bed in and all that stuff. I want something that I don't have to pack. Honestly, though, I'm really leaning towards, so believe it or not, and this is not the first idea that comes to people when they think of van life, I'm really looking at pickup trucks. I think that would be the best option for me. Yes, it's going to be the most work, because what I'd have to do is I'd want to build my own truck cap for it out of wood. That way there I can make it exactly the shape and size I want. I have plenty of room on top of solar panels, things like that. Plenty of room inside of it. But the beautiful part about pickup trucks is lots of them out there. And I can easily find an older model that fits my budget concerns and will still be in good operating condition. Pickup trucks are really designed for doing a lot of work and things like that, and they can hold up pretty well. So, and I can get a pickup truck with four-wheel drive in it for about the same price as a full-size van that will just be a rear-wheel drive. I mean, I'd love to have four-wheel drive. But finding a van with four-wheel drive on it is a challenge. They exist, but they're pretty rare, and the ones that are out there are going to be calling for a premium price, and that's just not going to happen with my budget, as much as I'd like it to. So I've seen some really neat designs of what people have done with campers on pickup trucks, and I think that's the direction I'm going to go on. That could change again if I find something else that I just can't pass up at the price. I'll go for it. And if somebody wants to give me a free minivan, I'll jump right on the opportunity. The only real requirement, well, two requirements. One, it has to be reliable. I don't want to be breaking down out in the middle of the woods. And two, it needs to tow, because I still want to bring my scooter. I'm going to be using it in winter trips with the snowmobile, so I'm going to be towing that along, things like that. So, to where the pickup truck, I think, is going to end up being the best option for me, though. The perfect pickup truck would be fine with this one with a standard cab, not an extended cab, and an 8-foot bed. Not as many of those around as there are of the smaller trucks with a 6.5-foot bed, but if I can find a 6.5-foot bed, that would work as well. So, depends on what I find, what condition it's in, what the price is, things like that. But I think that's going to end up being my future adventure vehicle. If any of my viewers have any suggestions for me, I'd love to hear them in the comments. So feel free to let me know if you see any leads on a good deal. Also let me know on that too. Heck, if you're selling one, let me know. For now, I'm going to continue using the Wolfeneer. I actually have some trips coming up here already planned. In about 2 weeks, mid-April, I've got my first camping trip of the season planned. So I'm heading out to Bear Brook State Park up in New Hampshire. I've never been to Bear Brook State Park. It should be a good opportunity to do some exploring. In a couple of weeks after that, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going to be going on another camping trip at the end of April. Then comes May, I'm probably going to start camping towards the western Massachusetts campgrounds where the black flies aren't as much of a problem. And from there we'll be into the summer camping season, and we'll be doing a lot of camping trips. So, a lot of stuff coming up. So that's it for this video here. This is just a simple sit down and chat video. Something I haven't done a whole lot of on this channel. So I'd love to hear some feedback for the vehicle, for the camping trips. Got suggestions on places where I should travel this summer. Love to hear them. If anybody wants to do any meetups along the way, let me know. I'd love to meet some of the viewers. I know I only have 34 subscribers right now, but hopefully that will pick up over the summer months. And otherwise, we'll see where things lead. Should be interesting. If you want to see some of my upcoming adventures, make sure you do subscribe if you're not already. Should be some interesting stuff coming up this year. So again, I'd love to hear some feedback, see what you think. Suggestions for the vehicle, suggestions for trips, that sort of stuff. And with that, we'll bring this video to an end today. Thanks for watching, and remember, slow down and enjoy life, and we'll talk to you guys later. Some of my... I already screwed it up. Good job. First sentence, I already screwed it up.